I want to know a bit more about what you are doing at Low Capital and how Low Capital is positioning its investments with respect to the Indian startup ecosystem.
Got it. So I think Low Capital was conceived with the whole idea that there are a lot of underserved segments and underserved consumers, and who, when you invest in them, you not only create value to the communities underlying, but also you create a great business model, because these are like fast growing markets. So Low Capital typically invest in four sectors, which is financial services, fintech, food and agriculture, and healthcare. So we basically go for those business models or entrepreneurs who are trying to do it in what we call as underserved areas. It could be a geography. For example, we invested in a dairy company in Jharkhand and Bihar, because there are no branded dairy companies there. So we have invested in a lot of SME finance companies, because nobody was willing to finance a person who is selling, say, a coconut vendor who is who is making a good business, but then he doesn't have enough paperwork to show that he's actually doing good business. So if you can tap any of these underserved segments, those are what we look at. And the another example would be what we call as packaged food category. There's a lot of innovation. There is still a huge gap. Consumers are looking out for products which are sustainable, and products which are also at the same time healthy and which are tasty. So I think the innovation possibility is endless. So we're looking for entrepreneurs who can create this sort of a new products and new services to the consumers.
From your profile, I understand that your focus on agriculture and dairy is a laser focused one. I want to know what is it that you find most attractive about these two segments, of course undeserved and packaged both, but what is the differentiating factor?
See, I think the differentiation factor could be focused on a particular geography, right? I mean, or it could be the product. For example, we are very keen on themes like organic and natural, right? But then one is that just on the front end you call them organic and natural, but are you going down to the back end and building the supply chain for it, which is a far more difficult part. So for evaluating such a things become very critical for us. It is not just about the brand. How do you create the entire ecosystem around it? So that is how we look at it.
How do you handle these startups besides the funding?
So I think in that I would say is the biggest differentiator in some ways for Low Capital. So while similar to other funds, we also participated board level recruitment, etc. I think we run what is called as a technical assistance program, because in early stage companies, hiring some, say for example, you want to put up a very detailed survey, or you want to have some sort of an ERP. So all these things cost money. So we sort of have technical grants which we give in addition to equity investments. Then we run something called as fellowship program. So we get some bright young graduates to come and work in these underlying companies on a short-term assignments of 1 to 2 years. So this both benefits both the companies and the entrepreneurs. So these are the sort of measures that we do in addition to our equity investment.
In the undeserved sector, how do you identify a startup? What are your 3 top parameters?
See, I think what we look at for the first thing is the entrepreneur, how big and how ambitious his vision is. Because as I keep telling that this partnering the fund makes sense only if you have an outsized ambition.
Right.
Otherwise, there are other venues to fund the requirement. And the second thing is in terms of how attractive the market potential is, right? The overall there should be some help from the market, because you don't want to be running a business which is like very mature stage. So those are the 2 primary things we look at. And the third is also in terms of your ability to build a team. We understand that today you may not have the entire team, but tomorrow whether you will be able to build a team around you and execute. So these are the 3 parameters we typically look at.